Imagine this, a young woman sits alone at a restaurant table, dressed in her best outfit, her heart full of hope. She believes tonight might change her life, it's her very first blind date. But instead of love, she's about to hear the cruelest words anyone could say to her face. Sorry, you're too fat. I can't do this. He leaves without a second thought, and she's left staring at an untouched glass of water, fighting back tears while people around pretend not to notice. But then, at the very next table, a man who has been quietly watching stands up. He doesn't see her body. He sees her pain. And what he says changes everything. Stay until the end of this story, because I promise, it's not what you expect. And if it touches your heart even a little, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more stories that remind us of the true value of love and kindness. Her name was Maya. All her life, Maya had been told she was too much. Too heavy, too loud, too noticeable. She grew up battling cruel nicknames at school, the quiet judgment of relatives, the sideways glances when she tried on clothes at the mall. But Maya had a secret weapon, her heart. She was kind, intelligent, and had a laugh that could light up a room. Still, when it came to dating, she always felt like she was stepping into a battlefield where she was already defeated. Tonight, she thought things might be different. A friend had set her up on a blind date, insisting, "He's nice, Maya. He said he's tired of superficial girls. I really think you'll get along." So Maya had spent hours preparing. She curled her hair, put on her favorite dress, and wore that shade of lipstick that gave her just a little more courage. She walked into the restaurant with nervous excitement, her heart thumping at the thought of someone finally seeing her, not just her size. The man arrived late. When he walked in, she smiled and waved timidly. For a moment, hope bloomed. But the smile faded quickly from his face the moment his eyes fell on her. He walked over, sat down stiffly, and said in a low voice, "You didn't mention your body." Maya's chest tightened. She tried to laugh it off. "I thought we could just talk and see if we connect." But his eyes were cold, his lips twisted in distaste. "I can't. You're too fat. Sorry, I'm not into this." Then he stood up, adjusted his jacket, and walked away as if she were nothing more than an inconvenience. The silence that followed was deafening. Maya stared at the tablecloth, pretending not to notice the couple nearby whispering. Her throat ached as she blinked back tears. All she wanted was to disappear. She reached for her phone to call a cab, but then, she heard a chair scrape behind her. "Excuse me," a deep voice said. She looked up. A man, tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in a crisp suit, stood at the table next to hers. His expression was soft but intense. "Do you mind if I join you?" Maya blinked in confusion. I don't think." He pulled the chair out and sat down before she could finish. "I couldn't help overhearing. That man doesn't deserve your time." Maya's cheeks burned with embarrassment. "You don't have to pity me," she whispered, her voice breaking. The man shook his head. "This isn't pity. I just hate seeing someone so remarkable be treated like that." His words were so steady, so certain, that for a moment Maya forgot her tears. His name was Adrian. What Maya didn't know was that Adrian wasn't just another diner. He was the CEO of a successful tech company, the kind of man most people assumed had everything: wealth, respect, and charm. But Adrian carried his own scars. Years ago, his late wife had struggled with illness, and Adrian had watched firsthand how cruel the world could be to those who looked different. Since then, he promised himself he'd never let silence become complicity. As they talked, something shifted. Maya, still trembling, tried to hide her pain behind small jokes. But Adrian leaned in, genuinely listening. He asked her about her passions, her dreams. She spoke about her love for teaching children, about how she wanted to open a literacy center for underprivileged kids one day. As she spoke, Adrian didn't glance once at her body. His gaze never left her face, her eyes, the way her hands moved when she got excited. For the first time in a long while, Maya felt seen. Hours passed unnoticed. By the time they realized, the restaurant was nearly empty. Adrian smiled. "I don't usually do this, but, would you like to meet again?" Maya's heart leapt, but fear pulled her back. "Why? You could have anyone." He leaned closer, lowering his voice. "And I want someone real. You. Do you know how rare that is?" That night, Maya went home with something she hadn't felt in years, hope. But life didn't suddenly turn into a fairy tale. The challenges kept coming. When people saw them together, whispers followed. Why is he with her? She's not his type. Maya felt the sting of judgment all over again. At times, she wanted to walk away to save herself the pain. But every time she faltered, Adrian reminded her of her worth.